This is the private sitting room for the Royal Princess Anne. She has opened up the room and opened up her schedule to do something she rarely does, conduct an interview with us about things she doesn't often talk about. Losing both her parents within the span of 18 months, the upcoming coronation, the future of the monarchy, and Canada. This is our conversation with Princess Anne. So I thank you very much for making time for us. I know you don't have much of it at all.
Only when I'm in London, I tend to sort of pack it in when I'm in London. I kind of knew what the rhythm of the year was, so things like that will change, and how we are part of the support for the monarchy may change slightly. Without the Queen, in many respects, need to deal with it.
We are so close to this moment. Here we are again with history, with coronation. Forgive me if this is a naive question, but how on earth do you prepare for that?
Good question. We've been very lucky.
What just happened inside Windsor's inner circle? Tonight, Britain's most whispered rumour collided with a very public reality. Chatter that a new royal decree reportedly signed by King Charles and Princess Anne has quietly removed Queen Camilla from key emergency roles, while pushing Princess Catherine forward as the linchpin of the royal machine. If true, it's a chess move with centuries of tradition at stake. If not, it's a masterclass in palace optics and how rumours can wobble the throne, even without a single signature.
We've been very lucky. My mother was the Queen for a very long time. And although you kind of know that this might happen, you don't really think about it very much. Not least of all because the monarchy is about continuity. But I think for my brother, this is something he's been waiting for. And he's probably spent more time thinking about it. For the rest of us, it's more a question of, okay, we have to shift the way we support. And that's what we need to do.
So, did Charles and Anne actually sideline Camilla and elevate Catherine? Why would they do it now? And what does a move like this say about the monarchy's survival strategy in a tougher, louder, faster world? Buckle up. We're rewinding the tape, pulling on loose threads, and yes, asking the questions the palace won't touch on record.
And what does that shift look like for you?
Well, that's we don't know yet. I mean, there was an order to the years because my mother didn't change very much. We kind of knew what the rhythm of the year was, so things like that will change, and how we are part of the support for the monarchy may change slightly. Who knows?
In the UK system, councillors of state are the select royals, who can carry out certain duties if the monarch is ill or abroad. By law, that pool traditionally includes the monarch's spouse and the next 4 adults in the line of succession. In late 2022, after King Charles acceded, Parliament passed a targeted change, the Councillors of State Act 2022, to add Princess Anne and Prince Edward to the roster. This was widely seen as a practical fix to ensure experienced, working royals were available, without relying on family members living overseas or not performing official duties.
And when you hear sometimes people refer to a slimmed-down monarchy, I can't imagine what that might mean for a role like yours. I don't know how many more hours in the day you have to take more things on.
Well, I think the slim down was said in a day when there were a few more people around to make that seem like a justifiable comment.
The world changes a bit.
It changes a bit. I mean, it doesn't sound like a good idea from where I'm standing, I have to say.
I'm sure it does
I'm
not.
not quite sure what else.
Has faced a reign marked by health challenges and calls for modernisation. Into a partnership that saw her crowned as Queen. Yet, whispers have persisted about her role amid the King's ongoing treatments and the family's evolving. Princess Anne, the steadfast workhorse of the royals, has always been a pillar of reliability, often stepping in during crises.
Is there something we should be looking for those of us watching on during the coronation? Some of the details are yet to be released. But is there a moment we should...
I'm waiting to be told. I haven't asked too many questions.
Smart.
In the terms of my role, I have a role.
Buckingham Palace disclosed that King Charles had been diagnosed with a form of cancer and would step back from public-facing duties while continuing state work. Overnight, contingency planning stopped being a theoretical exercise and became the palace's daily homework. Another jolt. In June 2024, Princess Anne, the monarchy's tireless workhorse, suffered a concussion in a horse-related incident. She recovered, but the scare underscored a new reality. Redundancy isn't a luxury, its survival. And the Princess of Wales, after a major abdominal surgery in January 2024, Catherine addressed the world with a video statement in March, sharing that she was undergoing preventive chemotherapy. Her candid tone and careful return to duties turned her into a symbol of steadiness, modern, vulnerable, resilient. Meanwhile, Catherine's long game early years and the Shaping Us campaign continued to frame her as a policy-minded royal with a cause, not just a calendar. Its motherhood meets measurable impact, and it's given her a distinct public identity beyond tiaras and walkabouts. The Public Pulse. As of August 2025, YouGov places William and Catherine at the top of the popularity charts among working royals, a sentiment map any palace strategist would study before signing anything. Underscore 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 underscore. So, what's the claim? Across YouTube and Facebook, creators and pages are pushing the storyline that a fresh decree signed by King Charles and Princess Anne has removed Queen Camilla's name from key sections tied to emergency authority and formally boosted Princess Catherine into a bigger advisory lane. These videos are pulling serious views because the idea feels plausible, a slimmer, crisis-ready monarchy refitted around the next reign. But feeling true is not the same as being true. Reality check. As of this taping, there is no official palace notice or government record confirming any new decree that removes Queen Camilla from her status in emergency protocols. On the contrary, the official councillors of state page still lists the Queen as a councillor. That's the page constitutional journalists check first, and it has not been updated to reflect the rumored change. And about the rumor factory, fact-checkers have been busy this summer swatting down viral, Camilla-centric claims from banished from the palace to caught in scandal that spread fast, but collapse under scrutiny. The takeaway, sensational royal content is having a moment, but not all of it survives contact with the facts. So where does that leave us? With a live wire of speculation humming over a very real backdrop, the king's health, the monarchy's push for efficiency, and a public clearly invested in William and Catherine. That combination is why this rumor bites. Even without paperwork, people are ready to believe the palace could tilt the table now. What sources say, off-record whispers circulating among royal watchers frame the alleged move as pragmatic, not personal. The talking points go like this: tighten the emergency roster around working, widely supported figures, spare the Queen from procedural burdens while the King's treatment continues, and signal stability under the Waleses. None of that is confirmed, but it is consistent with recent reforms and the monarchy's public messaging on streamlining. Underscore 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 underscore. If you were designing a sturdier monarchy for the next 5 years, you'd probably weight the system toward the heir William inevitable continuity, the heir's partner Catherine continuity plus community trust, the king's most reliable lieutenant, and continuity plus credibility. This trio mirrors a corporate COO model, William as strategy, Catherine as public value, Anne as execution. You don't need a decree to see that dynamic in motion. The public diary already tells the story. Anne's brand is relentless duty. During the king's treatment and the Princess of Wales's recovery, Anne's diary anchored the crown's visibility. That worman-like aura turns her signature real or rumored into a symbol. When Anne writes her name on something, it feels serious. A softer theory in the rumor mill: Camilla isn't being shoved. She's stepping back from any procedural, emergency roles to focus on advocacy and supporting the king, not because she's weak, but because there's enough plate spinning already. Supporters of this view say it removes a lightning rod for critics and leans into what Camilla does well: literacy, domestic violence work, and presence at the king's side. Here's what's tangible. 4 years, Catherine has built policy-adjacent credibility through early years, framing the monarchy as preventive and evidence-aware, the kind of language that resonates with the NHS, educators, and parents. When the Princess of Wales speaks about child development or mental health, it reads as substantive, not ceremonial. That makes her uniquely suited to the next era's outward-facing work, especially if the palace wants to look engaged and empathetic, not just elegant. With YouGov placing William and Catherine at the top of the popularity table, any structural tweak that visibly elevates Catherine will land well with the public, even if the legal plumbing underneath hasn't moved an inch. Sometimes the signal changes before the statute does. Underscore 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 underscore. Counselors versus advisors. The rumors conflate two worlds. Councillors of state are a legal, statutory role tied to the Regency Acts and updated by Parliament in 2022 to add an Edward. Changing that lineup or removing the consort would be a big constitutional deal and likely show up in official records. Advisory standing is softer. It's about who's in the room when strategy gets made and whose name appears in internal protocols and briefings. That can be reweighted by palace process without rewriting the law. The rumor suggests Camilla's name is missing where it once appeared, and Catherine's remit is spelled out, especially on family welfare and public-facing strategy. Interpreted generously, that's a modern management tweak. Codify who leads which lanes, reduce duplication, keep the line of succession central. Interpreted cynically, it's a quiet demotion for the Queen and a trial balloon for the next reign. But again, officially, Camilla remains listed as a councillor of state. If a real decree was stripping her of a legal role, would expect clear, public trace, not just viral thumbnails. Underscore 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 underscore. If your team continuity, you're delighted. A Catherine forward blueprint sells well domestically and internationally. It aligns with the slimmed-down monarchy idea, fewer faces, clearer missions, and points everything toward the Waleses without awkwardness. If your team tradition, you're uneasy. The consort has historically been part of the monarch's official orbit automatically. Quietly sidelining that, even symbolically, risks rewriting expectations around the Queen's standing. It also risks reigniting old debates about Camilla's journey from controversy to acceptance, debates that the palace has spent 2 decades calming. If your team practical, this is about load balancing. The King's treatment continues, Anne is indispensable, and Catherine is a known asset with policy fluency and public trust. Why wouldn't you formalize that in planning documents, even informally? The Harry factor. Any emergency roster discussions run into an optics snag. Prince Harry remains a councillor of state by law, but is not a working royal and lives overseas. That tension partly drove the 2022 add-on of Anne and Edward. It's constitutional housekeeping without the drama. King Charles's diagnosis forced Britain to confront the unglamorous part of monarchy continuity planning in public view. Anne's concussion reminded everyone that even the indomitable princes